It is May 15th, and I am going to be doing a walkthrough of my backyard area here so we can see what is blooming and what plants are looking like. Front here I have golden ragwort. This was 2 plants last year and has spread all over the place. This has already finished blooming, and I just cut the blooming stalks off to let some light in for these plants behind here. This is a native goat's beard, so similar to an astilbe, which is typically non-native. It will get kind of tall spikes of white flowers on it. This is a foam flower. I believe they're supposed to bloom fairly soon. I'm not seeing any spikes on it yet, so not 100% sure. I just planted that one last year. These are a couple of my daisy fleabanes. This one has been in bloom for a while. The one behind here is just now starting to get its first blooms on it. We've had a lot of rain, so I've got a heavy branch here that is covering one of my woodland phlox. That's also a spring bloomer that has already bloomed. That bush that I am holding the branch of is a Carolina allspice. It has already done a lot of blooming. There are still a few blooms open. These smell very sweet when they're in bloom. Let's see a couple blooms there. And there is another one right over there. That one gets a little bit more sun and is a little bit smaller and does not bloom quite as heavily as this one that gets more shade. I've got a couple eastern columbines that are currently blooming. One there, and we'll see a couple others on the other side. This is a Joe Pye weed. This is a summer/fall bloomer, currently probably about 5 feet tall here. In the front of my Carolina allspice bush there, I've got some summer phlox, also called tall phlox or garden phlox. These will get some pink blooms on them. Next to that, I've got some mountain mint that has spread like crazy, which I was hoping it would do. I have given quite a bit of it away and had to kind of keep it from spreading too far into everything else. This will be covered in pollinators when it blooms in the spring, or excuse me, in the summer. Back in the back there is another of my eastern columbines in bloom. Got another one right up here in the front. This is about 4 feet tall. It's been in bloom for at least a few weeks now. There is my other Carolina allspice shrub. Back behind there, I've got some lyre-leaf sage. That is a little bit past its prime with the blooms. It has been spreading. I know there's another one right up here that is just now getting its flower head, so it will be blooming soon. Next to my columbine there is a big blue stem, one of the native grasses that will get pretty tall, probably about 6 feet tall by the end of the summer. In front of that, I've got some sundrops. These are a form of native evening primrose, but they are the shorter day blooming variety. They get these very bright, vibrant yellow flowers on them. This just started blooming maybe about a week ago. Now next to that is my cutleaf coneflower. These have also spread and just grown like crazy. The tallest one in the back there is about 5.5 feet tall already. Last year these got to be probably about 7 feet tall. nice yellow flowers on them that, again, the pollinators really loved. Being crowded out over here in the corner, I've got another Joe Pye weed. It's probably about 4 feet tall now. And then in front of that, I've got a tall thimbleweed, which is just starting to get its flower heads on it. I've got a few non-natives over here. A gardenia, a couple hydrangeas here, and an astilbe. This is a non-native cherry tree that was here already when I moved in. And back in this bed, that is a brown-eyed Susan that's self-seeded. Got lots and lots of blazing star here. These will get tall pink spike blooms on them that the bees really love, and butterflies. This is yarrow. It is just getting its seed heads. These will be kind of flat-topped, white, small clusters of flowers. Back there are a couple pink mullygrass. Those will get their pink blooms kind of in the fall. Here are a couple gray goldenrods. These are a shorter variety of goldenrod that don't spread a ton. I've got some Canada goldenrod over in another bed, and it spreads by rhizomes very, very quickly. The gray goldenrod just kind of grows in clumps here and does not spread by runners. A couple more brown-eyed Susan here. These are some threadleaf coreopsis that are just getting their flower buds on them, so should be opening up very soon. Another non-native gardenia that was here when I moved in. This is pussy toes that I planted last year. It has already bloomed for the season. Another threadleaf coreopsis here. And then I've got a small blue false indigo. There is a milkweed that I planted several years ago that typically gets about this big and then dies. I don't think it likes it here. I've planted some little blue stems, so there are 4 of those. Obviously this one was planted last year, so it is larger than the others. The other 3 I just planted a couple weeks ago. These are a few non-native catmints. I've kept them here because the bees really love them. And then I've got several blue mist flowers that I just transplanted into this area because they spread quite a bit from where I planted them last year. And this one I believe is a Maryland golden aster. I planted it last year. It just kind of stayed as a basil rosette, and it looks like it is hopefully going to grow and bloom for me this year. So that is everything in the backyard area.